Hey, Scrapper Names fans, and welcome back to another process video. Today I've got this very crazy looking 12 by 12 layout for you, and this is my probably second attempt when I filmed this to play with my Gelli plate and brayer. Sorry, I had to think there for a minute because I got a new brayer. So for anyone who, like me, is very, 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 very new to the world of Gelli plating and whatnot, Gelli plate is just like a thick, well, mine is thick, kind of literally like a silicone acrylic kind of mix plate. And mine's really big. It's a big one. I got it at the Flutter by Designs retreat recently that I was on. Everyone had one. No, not everyone, but Anita from Flutter by Designs has created some of the like foamies, they're called, and which you'll see me use shortly. We were using them at the retreat, and I was just like, I need to get me one of these. This is awesome. So that's exactly what I did. So I've just used the three colours you can see there is blue, red, and the gold as well, which doesn't come popping through as I would have liked it to of the Kaiser colour paints, but nonetheless it's there when you look at the after product. Now, just an FYI, I'm not by any means arty minded, so paint and the colour wheel and all of that shebang is not my forte. So if any of you are watching this going, oh my god, why did you do those colours, I apologise now. But yes, so what I've done is pressed some of the stencils I wanted to use into the Gelli plate. The paint is still relatively wet. It's not, because it's a thin coat of paint, it's not all like slapped on. It does dry, but that's okay. And now I've got my cardstock and I'm just going to print over the top. As I said, I nearly wasn't going to edit this video, and then I thought, you know what, there's probably peeps out there, potentially, watching this who are brand new or have never even heard of a Gelli plate or art foamies or anything like this before, and you know what? Here you go. This is what happens when you just whack it together. So it's all just trial and error for me at the moment. I am watching some lovely YouTubers that use the art foamies, such as not the art foamies, the Gelli plate, such as the very talented Chrissy Mannix, and people like that, just to give me an idea of how to use it. But yeah, so I'm just going back through with the paint that's on the stencil. As you can see, my hands were covered in paint. It was the best feeling ever afterwards. And I'm just playing around to see if I can get any more impressions off my Gelli plate. The art foamies are those black things you can see that I stamped in before. And I'm going to give this, I think they call it ghosting. I don't know, where you get a wet wipe and you sort of wipe it over the top of your stencil on top of wet paint, and it sort of kind of erases that paint, leaving that image there. Now, something else, who was I watching? Might have been Chrissy herself, actually, about getting white acrylic paint, and I'm just slapping that onto my Gelli plate here, again using a brayer. Got my brayer from Riot Art and Craft because I'm too impatient to wait for it to be delivered, so I found that they had them, so I grabbed one. Yeah, basically. So the point of this here is that you are supposed to be able to lift the remaining sort of transfer off the Gelli plate. Mine didn't really go according to plan, or as expected. See, it's kind of that. As I said, this was all very new to me. It's all trial and error, and hence why I left it in so you guys can see, if you've not used Gelli plates, and I've said it before, I said it a million times 5 seconds ago, you know, I saw the art foamies and I've seen Gelli plates and was like, nah. I mean, I saw the Gelli plates being used 12 months ago at the same retreat, and I was interested but didn't know if I'd use it. I freaking love it. So, yeah. But as you can see, it's probably not very clear there, but it didn't come out. There's a faint transfer, but not a real clear one. So I'm left with this. Now, it looks like a hot mess. And then you saw at the beginning, obviously, what it does turn out like, which I really love. Oh, sorry, changing positions, getting comfortable. So yeah, now I let it dry, and I had to come back. So as you can see, the lighting's changed. So I do my best to play around with the lighting in my craft space at the moment. It's just a bit of a nightmare. So what I decided to do was I would trim down the cardstock and mat it onto some pattern paper. So what I'm using today, or this is the Cocoa Vanilla Studio Boys Rule collection. Is that right? Boys Rule? Yeah. It's released a while ago. And I liked the craziness of the paint on the pattern paper around the back edging. It kind of looked a bit like a hot mess, like my chili paint print. Fumbling with words. I had planned to try and make the whole impression across the page of the Gelli plate, but it didn't quite work, so I sort of just stopped while I was ahead, I guess, and had this image going, and had then decided to mat it onto some pattern paper, which I think with the whiter sort of background paper, just to really lift the Gelli plate print is what I'm going to call it, just because it's really dark, and it's really busy, so it fits in well with the pattern paper. But yeah, so that's what I do. Then my photos. So there's a mix of colors, as you can see. This is a gorgeous photo. I actually really love this photo of my son and I, for a couple of reasons. One, he's actually smiling nicely. He never smiles nicely in a photo. Hunter, if you're watching this, it's true. Apparently he does at times watch my videos, so which is a bit funny, a bit cute, but anyway, but this is in my car out the front of his school last year for his last primary school Mother's Day shebang concert thing. So yeah, me being the documenter, wanted it documented. So it's a good photo of the two of us, and I really like it. But there is a mix of colours. So I'm wearing a green jumper, and my scarf is multicoloured, and his uniform is blue. And so it really does go really well in that I could really pick and choose some real masculine kind of colours. So I was kind of happy with that, and tied in with some of those more like primary colours like your red and those brighter colours, so yeah, I'm just matting the photo. I felt that it really needed some bordering off the crazy hot mess background of the Gelli plate. And the final piece I add is this white border, and it is quite a thick mat. Oh no, I didn't. I must have got an extra layer, did I? I thought I left it at the white just to break between. Maybe it's just the light blue. Anyway, you'll soon find out, as will I. I'm pretty certain I did a lighter colour. Yeah. And then I felt it still needed something. So I've popped in a green doily, which was really cool that I had one in my stash, actually. I didn't want white. White would just be too dull for me. This page has just become really busy, and as I said, it's not busy, but like a hot mess is the best two words I can think of for it. So it needed some colour. It didn't need more white. It didn't need like frilly, that sort of stuff. I felt the green doily was a bit more masculine looking, a bit more, add that colour to that background really well. So now I'm just going through. So in these little photo box container things you can see here, two collections from Cocoa Vanilla. No, one. So that has the Boys Rule one, which is the blue one you can see, and the one I'm rifling through at the back is, now I can't think of it. Oh no, maybe it is. Actually, no, I tell a lie. I think they're both Cocoa Vanilla Studio collections, Boys Rule and Totally Rad, I think it's actually called. So yeah, so those are the bits that I'm using for die cuts and things like that to place on the page. I didn't want to cover too much of the Gelli template, the hot mess background, because I was really stoked, I guess, that it somewhat worked. So for me, when I do things, I like them to be seen, not just a little bit, like a chunk of it. So I wasn't going to put too much layers on my photo. I was really conscious of the doily not taking up too much room on the space, those sorts of things. So that was my logic here. So I'm just doing tiny clusters, and again, with all the prints in the Gelli plate background, using the art foamies and the stencil, it became really busy. So if you look, like I'm looking at it now, if I added too many die cuts and bits and bobs to it, it would have just been, I think, too overwhelming. That's my eye. So yeah, I just bits and bobs here and there and got my point across, I guess. I decided to use Totally Rad as my title, so I didn't have to put, and that was the other thing, so I didn't have to put thickers across the top and covering the Gelli plate again. Plus, the Totally Rad and the way it's written in the font that it's written, I was just like, yep, that so suits this page right now, this hot mess, boy kind of looking page. So I went with it. I'm going to add this for my journaling, which I'm sure is supposed to be just a frame, but I'm using it for a journaling spot. Why not, really? There's no rules. Who cares? But I do love this page. Actually, I might put this page out. So today, I've been playing in my craft room and I've started to hang some layouts. And I might hang this one as well. Anyway, that's it for me. I hope you've enjoyed this process video and the little bit at the beginning with the brayer and things. Here's some close-ups. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I will see you again. Hopefully, I will have another video up in a few days. See you then. Bye.